It is a monster hurricane, Sandy, now heading up to the eastern seaboard on a collision course with two other weather systems.
Throughout the next hour, we will take you live to the northeast where people boarded up windows and filled sandbags in preparation for this superstorm. And of course, we have crews live along our coast to look at the impact of Sandy on North Carolina. Good evening and thanks for joining us for this special coverage of Hurricane Sandy. I'm David Crabtree. And I'm Deborah Morgan. We have a lot to bring you tonight. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Greg Fischel for the latest track on Hurricane Sandy. And Greg joins us now from the Hurricane Center. Greg, it is still a hurricane, right?
It is still a hurricane as of the 5 o'clock advisory, and no reason to believe that it'll change intensity a whole lot during the course of the next 12 hours, and then additional intensification from a variety of different sources, perhaps coming tomorrow and tomorrow night prior to landfall. As we take a look at the satellite and the radar mosaic here, you can see that the rain, like yesterday, has stayed down east in North Carolina, not getting back to the triangle. There's the center of circulation, and just look at the tremendous expanse of this cloud shield with this storm. This is a monster storm in size right now and will become a monster storm in terms of intensity as we head toward tomorrow and tomorrow night. Now, as we take a look at the forecast track, this hasn't changed a whole lot. It's moving northeast now, but it'll start to turn toward the north later tonight and then make a dramatic hook toward the north and toward the northwest and west northwest, probably coming inland late tomorrow evening, somewhere along the Jersey coast with that cone of uncertainty. And to the north of there is where the problems are going to be absolutely huge, perhaps mind-boggling, around the New York City area. Now, as we take a look at some other information relating to Sandy here, these are current wind gusts, 49 at Norfolk, 49 at Kill Devil Hills. The system is offshore and actually moving away from the coast right now, so we wouldn't expect these conditions to worsen. If anything, get a little bit better as we head on through the evening, at least in the short term. And some of the offshore buoys just off the coast of Duck, 49-mile-per-hour wind gusts there. And if we take a look at the wave heights, you can see that the seas just offshore of the Outer Banks are running at 23 feet and down near the circulation center about 30 feet. Now, we've been saying for days now that this storm is going to be epic in proportions, and as bad as it is along our coast, it's going to be infinitely worse to the north. We'll be back to tell you why that's going to be the case and how bad it will get coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Greg, and we will check back in with you in just a bit. We have live team coverage on the coast. Brian Mims is at Wrightsville Beach. Renee Chu is on the Outer Banks.
Gusty winds, rain, hours of punishing waves. Renee joins us now live from Kill Devil Hills, which is seeing a lot of flooding there as well. Renee?
David, do I look any taller to you? Because I feel taller, and here's why. As photographer Mark Simpson will zoom out here, I am standing on a sand dune that was not here before. The winds have just pushed up all this sand onto the beach, so we've got this mini sand hill going. We've been dealing with the rain all day, very dreary, and when it's pelting at you from winds 30 to 50 miles an hour, it is downright miserable. Now, here's the latest from Dare County emergency management officials. Road closures throughout the region because of ocean overwash. Highway 12 on Hatteras Island at Oregon Inlet closed because of sand and water covering it. Some areas on Hatteras Island experiencing flooding already. And we've seen some flooding here on the northern part of the Outer Banks. This nonstop rain and wind just making life miserable. All you hear is a constant roar. The outer bands of Sandy hovering over the Outer Banks provides surround sound. Wind gusts that shred flags, shake shingles, and bend trees like sea oats. You can even hear the sound side in Lizzie Constanzer's backyard that backs up to Buzzard Bay. What a view at sunset. Quite a threat during a hurricane. What's your state of mind at this point?
I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
She fears Sandy could be another Irene.
There was about up to here.
Last year's hurricane sucked water from the Sound and pushed it back with force, flooding Constanzer's home.
Blew everything out. It moved walls. It blew off my gas tank. I had to get a new roof. It was about $17,000 worth of damage.
And then to hear about Sandy's westerly winds, not good for Soundside homes.
Might be that way till Tuesday or Wednesday, which indicates a lot of flooding for us.
High tide this morning, the house was surrounded by water.
Realtor Jeff Scott is checking out an oceanside property in Kitty Hawk for flooding.
We actually put it under contract earlier this week.
So far, so good. Water has not creeped inside, but other homes are sitting in water. Beach roads resemble splash rides when cars drive through.
all in a vacuum of wind that has yet to let up.
The scary thing is at night when you think you're going to lose your roof and that the wind is howling and you can't see anything.
It is very scary indeed when you have this wind howling, and you can see the wind is just still blowing all this sand, and it's also causing sporadic power outages here along the Outer Banks. Now, as bad as this looks now, conditions are expected to worsen tomorrow. Sandy is going to be this prolonged event, so residents are being told to not let their guard down. David, back to you.
Wow, that is just amazing. Renee Chu, you don't look like you've grown any, but as light as you are, as heavy as that wind is, I hope that you will tie yourself down. And I mean that in all sincerity. That is Renee Chu live in Kill Devil Hills.